Hunting is a pastime that many residents in the state of Indiana enjoy, but sometimes people in the non-hunting community do not realize the benefit that hunting provides to the state and to the residents. In addition to providing a food source and a social opportunity, hunting benefits the economy and the environment. According to the National Survey of Fishing, Hunting, and Wildlife Associated Recreation, published every 5 years by the Department of Natural Resources, more than 90 million Americans, or 41% of the United States population aged 16 and older, pursued wildlife-related recreation in 2011. Back home again in Indiana, there were 377,000 hunters in 2011. They spent more than $222 million on hunting expenditures such as licenses, equipment, and gas, to name a few. A federal excise tax is also applied to equipment that is purchased for hunting. Using the funds collected from that and license fees, the Department of Natural Resources can manage wildlife and do research to ensure the hunting pastime is around for future generations. Hunting provides many other benefits, such as wildlife population control, which helps keep the land healthy. It is also a part of our heritage. Someone who has never hunted before and does not come from a hunting family may have a lot of questions if they were interested in taking up the sport. The Community Link met with Indiana Department of Natural Resources Officer Ryan McIntyre for the answers that someone considering hunting may have.
Hi, I'm Conservation Officer Ryan McIntyre with the Indiana Department of Natural Resources. You have to purchase a license to hunt in Indiana, to hunt on public or private land. The reason we have licenses is we have to have the funding to provide an opportunity for people to come hunt. You have to live in Indiana for a consecutive 60 days. You have to have a primary residence prior to purchasing your resident license. If you're a non-resident, we also have non-resident license that you can purchase as well. You can go to any sporting good retailer. You can go online and purchase it online as well, and also you can get it through the mail as well. The general hunting license covers coyote, squirrel, rabbit, basically just the small game animals. For waterfowl, you're going to have your hunting license, also your state and federal stamps, and also you're going to have to register with HIP for any migratory birds. For deer, you're going to have your firearms license, archery license. There's also a bundle license that allows you to shoot two does and 1 buck, or 3 does. And there's also a muzzleloader tag as well that you can purchase. So if you're a landowner or you lease land and you farm it, then you are exempt. If you're born after December 31st, 1986, you have to go through and successfully complete a hunter's education course. Hunter's education is a program that is designed for basically to teach you the safety and the hunting tactics of hunting. It's just, there's things you have to know before you go out in the woods, and this will give you kind of the basic knowledge before you go out there. It takes 10 hours. There's a minimum of 10 hours that you have to complete. If you get caught hunting without a license, you're looking at paying fines. It's going to cost you about $120.
I've been hunting about 8 years now. My husband got me interested in the sport. I went to hunter's education with my son, who's now 12. He goes hunting with us, sometimes with myself, sometimes with my husband. I really like sitting out in nature, up in the tree stand, high above everything else. It kind of is serene and peaceful, and I don't have to think about anything else but what I'm there for. Our youngest son, who's 10, will be attending hunter's ed in the near future, and as a family, we'll all go out together.
Basically, the rules are going to be the same on private property. You're going to have to follow the rules by the landowner. On public property, those are going to be the state's rules, and you're going to have to abide by the property regulations. But remember, state law applies no matter where you're at, if you're on public or private ground. Hunter orange is required because it's for safety. Orange, you're not going to find it anywhere out in the woods, so it's a color that stands out. It's easily identifiable when you're out in the woods. A hunter can see another hunter and know that he's there. So the main reason is going to be to keep hunters safe.
I've been a hunter for probably 35 years. Well, I like the just being out by yourself, watching nature, and end up putting a little food in the freezer.
Well, it depends on the nature of the violation. The penalties range from anywhere starting out as an infraction to a felony. So you can be looking at fines, court costs, and also even jail time. You're looking at anywhere from $700 to $800 if you take a deer illegally. If you illegally harvest a deer and you take it across state lines, you're looking at federal violation, and you could be looking at court costs or jail time. Back to hunter's education. If you want to take the course, you can go online as well as go to one of our public locations. If you want to find out more information, you can go to indianahuntereducation.com. Some of the biggest safety issues that I see would be, number one would be tree stand safety. A lot of our accidents, our number one accident is going to be tree stands, falling from a tree stand. The biggest reason is because people are not wearing their safety harness. And one of the most important things to remember is if you're going to be hunting in a tree stand, you need to be attached from the time you climb up to the time you're climbing down. Because a lot of the accidents are going to happen whenever you're getting into your tree stand or coming down from it. One thing that you want to remember when you're out in the field is you want to be 100% sure of your target. Know your target and what you're shooting at and what's beyond your target. Be familiar with your firearm. Take the time to practice. Know how the safety mechanism works. And make sure you have the correct ammo with your firearm. If you're using a 12-gauge shotgun, you want to make sure that you're carrying 12-gauge shot shells. You never want to carry 20-gauge shotgun shells with your 12-gauge, because if you accidentally put in the 20-gauge shell, that can create a barrel obstruction, and if you fire that firearm, it can cause some serious injury to you and also damage your barrel. Before you go hunting, you want to make sure that you're prepared for the hunt. Have a plan. Let someone know where you're going to be at. Leave a note for someone. Be specific. That way, if something does go wrong, we know where to go and where to find you at.
The first time I ever went hunting was with my father-in-law. I was dating his daughter at the time and happened to be visiting during Christmas break, and we went rabbit hunting. I had a good time. A few years later, I went with my brother-in-law and squirrel hunting a few times. And, you know, time passed. I guess I was about 30, and hunting is a big pastime in her family. And I knew that her cousins deer hunted, so I thought I'd like to try that. And so I gave them a call, and that first year they were basically my mentors to the sport. I really enjoy the time outdoors, the challenge that it presents, and just being outside, being one-on-one with nature. And it's something that I hope to pass down with my children as well.
One of the most frequent calls I receive as a conservation officer is trespassing. The bottom line is, to hunt on someone else's property, you have to have permission from that landowner. If the game you're hunting runs onto the neighboring property, you have to get permission to retrieve your game. Another common call we receive is baiting. Baiting is illegal for two reasons. One, it's cheating, and the other is it can spread disease amongst the wildlife. You can use feed if you want, but that feed has to be removed 10 days prior to hunting there. Another call we receive is road hunting. Road hunting is illegal because it's not the fair chase, and also it's not safe.
I took hunter's education with my mother when I was 9. Now, every year, my father and I will go out to our family farm for every youth season to go on an annual hunt. We may not always see things, but my favorite part about the hunting trip is spending time with my dad.
With hunting, it's like anything else. You have to practice and you have to plan.